Alrighty, what's going on, SDL? Welcome back. We have another exciting challenger match for you today. My name is Zexous, and I'm throwing it to also my co-caster.
I'm Joywolffe.
And we're back in another Challenger Division game. We're bringing you the Dropkick Kings versus the Tactical Feeders, going right in the picks and bans. And going to see first band taken away right off of Tactical Feeders as Susana will be taken away off them, and Yu Huang being looked at by the Dropkick Kings being taken away from them as well. As far as these teams go, I'm familiar with a few players, mainly Patroclez, SEAL Team, and MalwareCookies on the other side of the coin on Dropkick. What about how do you feel about these teams so far, Joy?
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces. I'm curious to see how well they will all mesh together. I believe this is both teams' first game of the season, so not a whole lot of time to, you know, study up on your opponent, scrim and practice. So I'm really hoping to see some clean gameplay out of them, but we'll see.
Definitely. I am interested to see if this is going to be a another season of Patroclez going back into the solo lane. And in past leagues, I've seen him being able to completely run it up in solo, doing well. And I'm interested to see if he's going to be going back to that role, or if he's going to swap it up this season and go somewhere else. On the other side of the coin, for the Dropkick Kings, Pest News has also been another solo laner I'm familiar with as well, on the come up, has been making strides to improve and has been doing well. So I'm interested to see if we see that lane matchup against Patroclez, how they are going to fare to get against each other.
Lancelot, Vulcan, and Capri, all extremely powerful gods being locked in. It looks like a lot of target bans allowed these to slip through the cracks. Things like MalwareCookies, Pele, Patroclez's, Achilles, all signature picks. So, when you take these targeted bans, a lot of these powerful picks that you normally see banned out kind of slip through the cracks. So, both teams very quick to lock in their gods, knew just what they were looking for.
Definitely, and Vulcan being a god so big on the rise right now with his most recent buffs, just becoming a strong pickup. Lots of area damage with that Earth Shaker ultimate, and coming up trying to cause some to match that support pick. Ganesh is going to be locked in. Lots of great utility coming out with that god with the Dharmic Pillars ultimate, the Ohm, creating tons of disruption in front of him. Just a really great appealing pick coming out for the tactical feeders.
Yeah, Ganesha is one of my favorite gods, so really hoping that the support for the Order side team will be able to make it look pretty.
Definitely. And speaking of more gods on the rise, we're seeing a Neja being locked in next. Another god back onto the climb will be most likely being taken into the jungle, but definitely does have flex potential. Have seen Neja in the past go towards the soul lane or even the support role. Obviously, probably not looking at support with a Kepri already locked in, but does have the opportunity to maybe be taken into the soul lane. Seen a few teams also experiment with the Ninja in mid in the past, but can't imagine that's where the Ninja will be going also with the Vulcan also being selected. But on the other side, to round it off for the tactical feeders, we saw that Cupid being locked in. Another ADC that's been at the top of the ladder for a little bit now and has been just great with controlling a lot of area with the Fields of Love ultimate.
Yeah, that big cripple field from the Fields of Love is absolutely a nuisance. A god like Khepri isn't able to dash out, so it offers a lot of lockdown in team fights. So that Cupid definitely could be a thorn uh, in any team's side.
Definitely. And exiting out this secondary ban phase, we do see the Baba Yaga and the E set being taken off of the side of the Dropkick Kings, and tactical feeders respond with the AMC and the Chiron ban towards the ADC lane. So definitely high pressure. Your more one shot kind of type ADC picks are being taken away, and a lot more so high pressure, looking for those gods that can really deal well with Cupid. But looking towards that, we see the Cucullin picked up off the of Dropkick Kings, so that'll be taken into the soul lane. Don't really know too much what that Cucullin will be going into, but is always a good pick to be slotted into the soul lane. Lots of pressure immediately coming out of the Cucullin. Doesn't really have to worry too much about mana problems, so isn't too bad about that. But seeing the Patroclez staple King Arthur being locked in, and then an interesting pick I'm also seeing is the Giannis locked in. We don't see too much of Giannis, and I'm interested to see how this is going to fare for the tactical feeders.
Yeah, Giannis, we don't see a whole lot. I believe he's actually slotted for a buff. So curious to see how that'll turn out. But Patroclez reprising his renown, King Arthur. Curious, they picked up the Cupid, which is the hard counter for an ADC. You don't want to be dove by King Arthur. You throw down the Fields of Love at your feet, and King Arthur can't come near you. So
We'll drop it at that, and we will see you guys when we load right into the game. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, much like the Lancelot, we're locked and loaded, ready to bring you Game 1 of Tactical Feeders against Dropkick Kings. Once again, my name is Hexagon, joined by Joywolffe.
and we are excited to get into game one.
Get into Game 1 as just quick look at the builds. Doesn't really seem like anything too crazy right off the get-go. We do see the that earring first started off by SEAL Team on the Ganesh, and uh, what do you really think about the tier 1 earring to start off the for the supports?
It's interesting. It makes me believe that the SEAL team isn't really going to be getting in there, as the earring isn't really the most tanky item. It only gives you MP5, but it will offer a lot of mana for this Ganesh, so he likely will be able to spam his abilities as much as he wants.
Definitely, and getting active right away into the soul lane they're gonna step up. Toe Taker gonna be taking a slew of damage off of Patro. Patro definitely getting the more so the brunt of that, as he's going to be taking a small victory as Malware goes for the early rotation, but somehow Patro comes out on top of both of them, is able to get the totem for their worries, but that's going to be all that. Quick little 2v2 going right on, forcing to try and get the Jimmy. Dropkick Kings will remain victorious off that. Going back into mid, Sash going to get off Malware, but is going to get turned around off of Locked and Loaded. Is going to force him back under the T1 in mid. And with that, they're just going to retreat back into the jungle, get those mid right harpies, and that's going to be all there really is on that. As right now, just a big exchange of damage from both sides of the playing field. Not going to whole much coming after that.
Yeah, both teams just kind of scrapping it up, clearing minions, poking at each other while they do it. Patroclez was able to secure the first totem, but it looked like the side of the Dropkick Kings duo lane was able to pick up that Jimmy Scepter. So splitting those early goals, things you want to pick up, on the respective sides of the lane. Split 1-1-1.
Definitely, and a little surprising, the Dropkick Kings were able to get the first Jimmy Scepter, as on the first wave, Tactical Feeders off of SEAL Team did pop that Frenzy and give them a little bit of early aggression. But early on, going to be pulled off of CACTUSARMS, are going to put SEAL Team in a little trouble, but is he able to dash away back? But going towards back, here comes LokkedNLoaded. Frenzy going to be popped once more. It's going to be aggressing hard right now onto NeptuneSpartan. Shell popped by CACTUSARMS, so will allow Spartan enough time to get under tower to safety. And a very nice gank coming off of LokkedNLoaded, but isn't enough to seal the deal on that. Malware joins them back into dual lanes, going to find the sash right away onto LokkedNLoaded, and LokkedNLoaded is in danger, and LokkedNLoaded will fall. First blood going on to the side of Dropkick Kings, courtesy of NeptuneSpartan. That's one for the Artemis.
Something I'm noticing about this 3v3 in the favor of the Chaos side Dropkick Kings, they have a lot of CC in their jungle ADC support combo, as we hold that thought.
Speaking of CC, Patroclez is going to get in trouble, but is going to be able to get the shield off of the transform just at the last second. Taker going to be able to get just enough time to get under tower to find his way to back, but a very close ultimate off of Patroclez almost sealed the deal for him, almost tying up the playing field 1-1 apiece, but unfortunately, just a little less damage than he would have hoped for. But at least good enough to get a teleport out of it on his opposition, so we'll give Patra a little bit of leeway in that regard. But as for that, everyone going back to, that'll be really all there is to really say.
Yeah, Patra's doing an extremely good job of maintaining his pressure even through all the ganks and transforms coming out of Taker. Still managing to come out ahead, often seeing Taker have to fall back while transformed. Definitely not where you want to be playing this Cucullin.
Definitely, and just right there, you just saw LokkedNLoaded being able to sneak in 1v2 to be able to strip away that blue buff off of Taker, which is going to be absolutely tough for the amount of XP you lose there. Fortunate for Taker, isn't too worried about losing the mana buff on the godlike Cucullin, but missing out that XP can be crucial come later if those blue buff invades start to pile up.
Exactly. Blue buff is the buff that offers the most golden XP on the map, so losing that over and over again is definitely not where you want to be.
Definitely not, and more aggression coming out into the dual lane. Dropkick Kings will be the main aggressors with that, courtesy of CACTUSARMS with a pull on SEAL Team, but not much else going to come off of it, as they're pretty much just looking to chill, not really looking to do anything else. Barry right now hasn't been able to back just yet, as NeptuneSpartan right now chilling with a full trans, already started stacking it 8 strong so far onto the item, as Barry hasn't even gotten back to even finish it yet, so he's going to have to hopefully get back there pretty soon to be able to start that before Neptune is really just gonna be able to get away with it. But going towards mid, the is in trouble as Windfire Wheels is gonna pull him up to the sky. Pest News with the Earth Shaker is gonna seal the deal. Dark Pillars does get dropped. The re-engage is good. Scarab's Blessing is gonna be blessing up MalwareCookies to be able to get him to safety on their T1 on mid. Will be able to keep his life as safe as can be. And LokkedNLoaded trying to find a little bit of extra damage, but nothing else going to really come of it, as that's going to be just a really nice disengage coming off of Dropkick Kings. But looking back in duo, NeptuneSpartan going to find the solo kill on top of BarryMF, and towards solo. Taker in a little bit of trouble, but joining the fight will be CACTUSARMS. Going to get Patra to back off just a little bit, going to go back to retreat to claim his own blue buff, and will do that. So
That was a nasty CC chain that brought down the Giannis. Absolutely just could not move up until that Earthshaker ultimate out of Pest News. As I was alluding to earlier, the amount of CC is just devastating. You do not want to be caught by this team with your beads down, which hard to do considering they have so much CC.
Definitely, this is going to be a composition really meant to burn all those beads. Windfire Wheel's going off, but isn't going to be able to claim the life of LokkedNLoaded, as LokkedNLoaded will exchange his own ult to get out, as chasing back LokkedNLoaded back Malware back into his jungle. But we'll be able to kind of chill. Will be brought back to safety. Looking towards Duo, already a 2-level lead right now on Neptune over Barry, and that's absolutely brutal right now as I keep it into this Artemis. Here comes the Caledonian board, one more out to do it. Trap is good, and Neptune will claim Barry once again. That's 3-0 for the Artemis, looking strong in this duo lane right now.
Yeah, a full, almost a full Transcendence up as Ganesh is trying to milk out those cups from the obelisk.
Milks up the cups, and also with the help of Nee, he's going to be able to get back to safety with the help of a portal. Goldfear right now being pulled up by Dropkick Kings. The only person around is LokkedNLoaded on this Lancelot. Sash coming up from Malware is going to try and buy them a little bit more time, but still has tons of time to really get in there. But joined. And here comes the Earthshaker, but Dropkick Kings will secure it. Pest News is going to secure one, but Nee is going to secure Malware, making that a 2-for-1 right now. As SEAL Team looking for maybe a little bit more, but opts not to, as he has decided that that's going to be all she wrote. As Goldfear goes down to the side of Dropkick Kings, you know, they get a nice 2-for-1 right there.
Yeah, a little bit. Go on.
I was just gonna say, pretty big win on the side.
Yeah, definitely. As the gold continues to dip down towards the Dropkick Kings.
Definitely, and you were talking about pretty much the full transcends, but almost if you really look at it on the side of Neptune, he's got a full executioner over Barry right now. That's a pretty big power spike difference if you're really getting down and dirty to it as well. And right after that wave might even tick over to 11, so we'll still be maintaining that maybe level and a half, almost 2 levels.
Yeah,
We're getting late game for you. Yep.
Neptune is definitely feeling himself on this Artemis, and especially on a god that scales so late.
Definitely, and a fantastic Earthshaker from Pestu's, and even better Scarab's Blessing from Cactus is gonna keep Malware alive just a little bit more, but not fully, as he will fall. Pest News will be claiming up Patra though. Heading back, looking towards the Pyromancer, as another 1-for-2 trade coming with the winning side once again going to Dropkick Kings, and adding a Pyromancer on top of that just makes the best almost better, you know? And once again, Caledonian Boar, one more is going to chase Barry down, has no escape from the Boar. That's another one being added to NeptuneSpartan's total. That's, what, 3 solo kills now at this point, and 4-0-1 on this Artemis being looked at now. LokkedNLoaded does, sure, is going to try and go on no ultimate as it was already used, but will actually finally get picked up. LokkedNLoaded is going to secure NeptuneSpartan, and very nice bounty coming off of the Artemis too right now. 3 levels up of Barry on this Cupid, so look very strong. Building into what looks to be a fail knot, so might be going the crit route on this Artemis.
Yeah, Artemis scales incredibly well into the late game, so that crit build is not all that surprising, as the solo laners are doing solo lane things, just poking at each other. But that was a pretty big shutdown. LokkedNLoaded probably got a nice little gold spike off that. Actually is able to finish the Transcendence, so that shutdown was worth a little bit.
Definitely, at least worth enough to really get those stacks going. As LokkedNLoaded still finding himself a level up on Malware right now, so is doing well in that regard. Also having that kill onto Neptune is really going to do wonders for the XP and the gold pool, at least for the Lancelot, and so find a little value towards that. But they're really gonna. I really think that SEAL Team might need to stick around for Barry for just a little bit to try and help him get his footing back in the. As it seems that Neptune is just running away with it, and Barry doesn't really have the answers to deal with.
Yeah, as a support, that's kind of rough, just because you don't want to be leeching too much farm, as NeptuneSpartan just 2v1ing, you know, sitting under tower, taking a little bit of damage, but he's under no threat right now. Everything's just chilling as the Order team is backing off. Patroclez rotating over to getting a ward on the Fire Giant. We love to see that. As we all know, wards win games, so keeping up that vision as MalwareCookie a little wide on the Windfire wheels, but just relieving some pressure for his Artemis as the 2v1 has been persistent in the duo lane.
To re-engage on the suppressing instance, but here comes that Fields of Love, gonna find the beads Aegis on the NeptuneSpartan, but will finally get claimed up once again by LokkedNLoaded. Direct Pillars being dropped will allow LokkedNLoaded to ult his way out, but may be looking for a re-engage on the Malware, but is gonna look to really maybe just drop this tower. But here comes Pest News, a little bit of meatball for LokkedNLoaded, but won't be enough to finish him off with the backfire, so we'll be able to scurry his way back into the jungle, back into safety. But Pest News still here. Meatball once again will hit up Barry, but won't find anything after that. Just dump and chase, doing his thing, and that'll be really all there is, as Tactical Feeders will be looking back towards their own purple buff, and once again, back into the solo lane. Solo laners doing what solo laners do best and just brawl it out. Once again, Arthur ult is going to be coming in. Transform off of Toe Taker will be good, but MalwareCookie is in to help him out. Sash is going to be good. Lots of damage coming out, but here comes Through Space and Time. Isn't going to find anybody, but will give them the idea that the teammates are close by, which will be enough to get them to back off towards their own blue buff. So.
Yeah, although the Through Space and Time might not have connected, it did definitely buy Patro the space to get out. So, you know, able to indirectly help his solo laner get out, even though it was not through the direct use of his portals.
Definitely giving a little bit of that false sense of security to where, you know, the enemy might be there, they might ever really know unless you have every place warded, and that Through Space and Time really paid dividends to a little bit of Toe Taker. Or for Patro anyway. Earthshaker, a little bit off the mark, isn't going to find any damage off of SEAL Team. Dharmic Pillars will be traded out for that ultimate, so.
Yeah. Feel able to just make his way out as CACTUSARMS is now caught.
Yeah, Cactus going to be on the chase, but Patro decides to let him go, let him scurry back to his team. Cold Fury gets pulled off by the Tactical Feeders, are being looked at it, but going into what looks to be a 5v4 as Toe Taker not around, but a very nice pickup from SEAL Team leads to Nee being able to clean up the kill. Cold Fury once again pulled off by Barry, decides to dash in. Artemis is a little bit low and will get claimed once again by Nee, so Nee is going to pick up Neptune for the double kill. Pest News is completely alone, and Nee, triple kill coming out for the Giannis. Might be able to try and find one more as Malware joins the fight, but Malware has to leave. And speaking of joining the fight once again, Toe Taker is also here at the party, going to make the Tactical Feeders back all the way up towards gold. It does finally get pulled, but I don't know if they're going to be able. Toe Taker jumps his way in, going to look for a little bit of damage. Then Tactical Feeder is going to have to back up a little bit, but Malware leaves Toe Taker alone. And here comes the Fields of Love. Will stun him out into the portal. One more will how to do it. Ohm will be able to secure him, Toe Taker not being able to move. And Barry will claim the life of Toe Taker. Gold Fury picked up once again by Tact. Dropkick Kings are aware Dharmic Pillars does get dropped. And will fall to the Tactical Feeders. Will be picking up a few kills of their own, plus the Gold Fury. And Tactical Feeders are finding their way back into this game.
Yeah, I think this is their first gold lead of the match, so the fight was absolutely huge for them. It looks scary for a little bit, all those low HP bars standing on the obelisk. If that pulse came out, might have finished off a few of the members on the tactical feeders, but everything was chilling. They were able to pick up the Gold Fury afterwards. All is well for the tactical feeders as it stands.
Definitely. Let's off as well. Go on the side. Really doing a good job of getting all these orbs to really power up for those trebuchets. They haven't launched any yet, but will be really, I think, ready to fight over a fire giant. Maybe it will be probably when they want to push these up. As walking towards the solo side from the 5 leaders, but Dropkick Kings are able to weed them out. There comes Excalibur's Wrath, and we'll be taking up CACTUSARMS, but won't be doing anything else top off that, as team fight is starting to form. A little bit disjointed in the back. Earthshaker is going to be good. Scarab's Blessing will be good to revive CACTUSARMS himself, but won't be good enough to run away from LokkedNLoaded. Dharmic Pillars will be dropped in the back, as Fields of Love also dropped. Meatball is going to be launched out by Pest News. Won't be able to claim any lives, though, but Patroclez will claim one of his own, as well as Pest News getting one. Barry will be claiming up Malware also, but Pest News a little bit in trouble on that. Finds a double knockup, though, and will be able to find Barry getting taken out by Toe Taker. Toe Taker will be able to pray a little bit of help to Pest News, and Pest News be able to get out just by the skin of his teeth. And speaking of that, Knee on the Honest will be following the same path as well, as this Trebuchet pushing down mid right now, as well as duo sides. So we looking to get some pressure in. That T1 on left could be falling ever so soon if that Trebuchet isn't to.
Just to really turn that fight around in making the Dropkick Kings able to even that up. His damage from the Earthshaker really is what brought everyone low, and then Barry being able to finish off, be finished off by Toe Taker, along with the Meatball that was able to save his own life as we watched him hop away in the background. Really good stuff, that fight out of Pest News.
Yeah, Pest News has been playing great on this Vulcan right now, really. Speaking of that, another double Earthshaker ult going to find a ton of damage off in LokkedNLoaded, and that will allow LokkedNLoaded to be claimed by Toe Taker. But Toe Taker, ultimate being dropped, not going to find any knockups though, but Transform will be good. Going to look for the stun off of SEAL Team, and is going to try and wreak some havoc into the back line. Through Space and Time will be launched to get his team back to safety. But Patro might be in a little bit of trouble. 4 strong for Dropkick Kings running down the solo side. But not going to really push up for that tower just yet, as T1 still standing. So got one up really quickly and try and open up the solo side to try and push down maybe a T2 to open up the field for a fire giant.
Definitely. And that last little bit of that team fight with Patro 4v1ing, it just goes to show just how tanky he was able to walk away. And it seemed like he had really been CC'd, as the Khepri root barely even rooted him down. So he must have had some stacks of DR. So he was in that fight for quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. He was really able to, even when the team is basically down, he is still proving to be just a real tanky boy. This King Arthur, you know, with pretty much just everything, just finally finishing up that Manticore too, so will definitely help him survive even longer. And that's not even talking about like the opposition Toe Taker right now. Right now, we'll level up on Patro, just finishing off that Spirit Robe too. So in that 5th item slot, and then what looks to be might be working on an Oni of his own, or could be even maybe a Genji's, or seeing what he chooses there. But as for that, back in the solo lane, watching the Warriors duke it out once more. A little bit of damage exchange, but nothing to come of. As Gold Fury once again looked at by Tactical Feeders, Direct Pillars does get dropped to bring it down, and that'll do it. As Gold Fury goes down, and right now Dropkick King surrounding this Fire Giant does finally get pulled. And the only one to defend it right now is Patro, and it is going down. There it goes. Earthshaker will be good. Earthshaker will secure it. As Dropkick Kings will claim up this fire. Fields of Love drop. Going to be looking for any targets, but NeptuneSpartan will be claiming up Patro. Then followed by that, Pest News claims up LokkedNLoaded. Followed into the back. Toe Taker really trying to create as much space as he possibly can, but won't be good enough as Barry will get under tower nice and safe. Knee will do a little bit of damage onto Malware. Hearts drop, so a little bit of sustain coming back, but T1 in mid will get dropped, and won't be done there as they will be looking at T2 as well. And close by, Malware still in the jungle, might be looking for a wraparound here, see if he can't launch something onto Barry. Barry about 65 HP right now. Something, unfortunately, target a little bit off the mark and is going to hit. The CACTUSARMS is going to extend a little bit too far as Knee will get credit for the kill. Double meatball under tower will knock up Knee and SEAL Team, but nothing really else will come of that as this tower sitting about 50 HP right now. Earthshaker is going to be dropped and will find a ton of damage on the SEAL Team and Barry, but not enough to be claiming any kills. Caledonia Boar is going to be dropped off onto LokkedNLoaded, and he is stuck between a rock and a hard place, but decides to re-engage on the Neptune, and Neptune's the one in trouble with the Uno reverse card. Through space and time will also get dropped. LokkedNLoaded will claim up the kill and will walk away just like that. A very nice kill coming out from this Lancelot, and a very good play for him to be able to recognize how much health of a pool he's working with in that fight.
Exactly, that shield on the Lancelot, just absolutely massive in helping LokkedNLoaded stay alive here. And the impressive thing from the tactical feeders is that they just took 2 fire giants off, protecting their tier 2 tower. Most teams would just be like, all right, we'll let them have the towers, but hold at our Phoenix line. They stepped up to that mid tier 2, stripped off a couple fire giants. Good for them, that, maybe we're seeing that, it's week 1 and these teams haven't really worked together all that much, but that's really something to be able to take two fire giants off and hold your tower.
Definitely, and especially getting the fire giant off of NeptuneSpartan on the Artemis is completely massive. Being able to take such a powerful buff off of pretty much a full late game ADC at this point. Can pretty much full item build at this point. But going back into the fire and out, a big portal into a 2 coming off of Knee will be forced to ult out with the through space and time as the damage is just simply too much coming out from Dropkick Kings right now. They're going to look at Pyro, but not quite yet as MalwareCookies, Sash, and Windfire Wheels coming up onto LokkedNLoaded and Suppress the Insolent will finish off LokkedNLoaded. NeptuneSpartan will claim that kill. And that's going to force the tactical feeders to force a retreat. So,
Yeah,
falling back. Yep, go ahead.
Falling back, preventing any further losses. They're probably going to lose their tier 2 tower now, but you don't want it to get worse from there, so you kind of just have to cut your losses and head back, realizing that you're down a man and still having 3 fire giants on the opposing team. Kind of the best you can do is just fall back.
Definitely. And get your brooms out, because the Dropkick Kings are going for a tower sweep right now as they're looking for the T2 on duo side. That will fall, no big deal, as they might be retreating back as Gold Fury If anything, Primal was going to be spawning up real soon, but looks like they might just commit to everyone backing, as we see everyone channeling that. So might just go for a full reset. Fire Giant also in the midst of respawning very shortly as well. So might be looking at a position between either Fire or even another Gold Fury, as looks like both of them will be respawning at around the same time.
I think the Dropkick Kings were looking to, after taking that dual lane tower, to fall back to Primal Fury, but then realized, oh shoot, Fire Giant's almost up. You know, buff fell off, got about a minute left to get there, so, you know, I liked where they were headed with taking that dual lane tower, but now it's time for a Fire Giant fight, I think.
Yeah, that's it, as Dropkick Kings are surrounding the Fire Giant right now, but Tactical Feeders now, as Patroclez around, is able to sniff them out, but is getting pulled right away. Dropkick Kings aren't even going to wait about it. Right into the back line is Toe Taker going to force out the ultimate from LokkedNLoaded. On the other side of the coin, though, Patroclez is right on Neptune and creating havoc, and Patro is going to claim up Neptune and is going to strip away Fire onto their ADC. But on the other side, here is Toe Taker completely causing havoc for Barry, pushing him all the way out, as well as SEAL Team in a very disjointed fight. And Tactical Feeders aren't all there, as it's right now just Nee and Patro gets claimed up by the backfire of Pest News, and it's adding a 7th kill onto this Vulcan. He is really coming out swinging right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Pest is an absolute menace on this Vulcan so far. Uh,
Doing a great and big thing. It's easy to see why he's repping top damage right now at 26k. Right now, just before the 30-minute mark of this game. So he's doing wonders as they're looking, as Dropkick Kings looking to push down the last T2 on the map for Tactical Feeders. And looks like Sash didn't really find anyone off of Malware, but isn't too worried about that anyways, as our fall is no big deal. The rest is just Birds and Titan for the Tactical Feeders, so I don't think Dropkick Kings are too worried about much else at the moment, as might be looking towards uh, that Primal Theory pretty shortly. Or they might just say, you know, they might just mess around and try and get a bird. We'll see what they do.
I was a little surprised they didn't at least dip their toes in the water and just show up at a Phoenix. You know, not even necessarily try and siege, but you have the 4v5 and the Fire Giant. I couldn't blame them if they stepped up to at least see what kind of response they got if they showed up at a Phoenix.
Yeah, very true. I don't really hate it at the end of the day. You know, played safe. There's no real reason to get too crazy with it. Maybe like we were saying, this is week 1, so these are new teams that haven't really figured out what they all want to do quite yet. But so I don't really hate it in that regard. But as that Primal Fury gonna drop, no big deal for a drop kick. We'll claim another objective into their mitts as they run it down right now, coming down the left side. Might be looking to claim this left 5 side Phoenix, and if you're looking in solo side, 2 of the Tactical Feeders are in solo, aren't really able to keep it going, but through space and time, comes out, does tag Matt, does look like does a lot of damage. Dharmic Pillars does get dropped off SEAL Team, so we'll force them to pull it a little bit, but Bird has already been dropped, so Dropkick Kings don't have to worry too much about it. Patro does do a little bit of an engage, but drops out just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a damage check coming there, but Earthshaker coming in isn't going to find anybody. So, very mess around, see what happens kind of ultimate coming off from Pest. And it is what it is. It's a low cooldown anyway, so I don't think he's too worried about losing it.
Yeah, that ult will definitely be up shortly. Looks like Toe Taker's falling back to grab that mid wave, perhaps a precursor that the mid order side Phoenix will soon be under the duress of the Dropkick Kings. They are pushed up to the mid lane currently. That wave coming in behind Toe Taker as Both sides kind of just posturing at the moment.
Yeah, Dropkick Kings kind of look like they're ready to go in, and that's it. They've pressed the button, and they're ready. Go, go, go. Toe Taker into the back is going to push out Knee, but into the back line, we see LokkedNLoaded going into the back, ulting back, finds tons of damage to the back, but Patro is going to claim up Neptune. And Patro, for a double kill, will also claim up CACTUSARMS. One more looking for a triple, and Patro finds a triple onto the King Arthur. Pest News is going to fall onto this King Arthur, and Malware coming stuck into a rock and a hard place. Ohm will be good. Is going to claim up LokkedNLoaded, finds one, and is still being chased down, but the balls from E won't be too good. Two right now trying to fight off Malware. Portal won't find them at all. Neither will the damage off of the other ability coming off of Giannis too. So Malware gonna be able to scare them back. Looks like a complete stalemate coming off from this Phoenix Siege. And Malware rejoins the fight. Heal coming to be good for Malware. Sash is good, but won't have any time to find the kill off of Knee as he gets absolutely exploded and dropped by the Giannis.
Yeah, these sashes and the immunity frames coming out from Malware's worked absolutely dividend for him. I watched SEAL Team, unfortunately for him, dashed through Malware as he was still in the sash animation. So Malware really utilizing those iframes on the sash to stay alive for as long as possible. And that's what you really have to do in these games. Just utilize every single aspect of your kit to stay alive and play your part as long as possible.
Definitely. And really just really highlighting like honestly a player doing big right now is, you know, even though it feels like Dropkick Kings has all the pressure in the world, Patro is doing everything he possibly can to keep this as much of a stalemate as humanly possible. And I think he's doing a real great job of finding that. But looking right into the fight, going Armored Pillars does get dropped right away. Feels the love coming, as well as the through space of time is going to notch a few. But NeptuneSpartan once again is just unable to really get out anywhere. Knee will be claiming up him. As looking into the back, Toe Taker claims one, but Barry is going to claim up Pest News. As another pull coming up from CACTUSARMS, but CACTUSARMS is going to be stuck in between the in between the Cupid. But Malware going to be coming up big right now, finding a double kill for himself, and that's going to be able to send Knee just running home, packing down mid. And their Titan being also being dropped a little bit, and Malware eyes on the prize right now, not gonna let this Giannis get away for nothing, as Unstable Vortex will be used to clear the wave, as he is going on a absolute cross-country run right now on this Giannis, and the Dropkick Kings decide, you know what, we don't even need him. Pop Frenzy, go right on Titan, try and end the game. They definitely have the health pools to do it, as once again, LokkedNLoaded trying to go one last defense, will ult in, but won't be enough to be able to take all of them. Knee claims up CACTUSARMS, but it won't be enough as Titan will fall.
Wow. That was a very, very rushed end. I wasn't sure they would be actually able to get it on the side of the Dropkick Kings without their ADC, but able to finish it off. You know, a little bit of help from the frenzy never hurt anybody. Uh, so, uh, good, clean end from the Dropkick Kings to finish off this exciting back and forth game one between the Dropkick Kings and
The Tactical Feeders.
And with that, we will be headed into picks and bans for game two. We'll see you in a bit. Be right back.
taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me.
And we are back loading in game 2 for the Dropkick Kings versus the Tactical Feeders. Once again, my name is Zexous, and I am joined by Joywolffe.
And we are getting right into game number 2.
Game number 2 it is, and once again we're seeing the same start coming off of SEALTeamTwo with that T1 of the earrings he's going. So I believe game 1 he went right into the Manticore's rush, so might be valuing that once again into game 2. What do you really make of the Manticore's rush coming off of the support?
I think it's Manticore's spikes is definitely not a bad item, and it's definitely not bad to have. But the earring start is just so awkward to me. Not having any HP or protections from it is just brutal. I mean, all you're getting is MP5, so it really kind of feels like you're almost throwing the laning phase away. But I mean, maybe that's the goal. You know, you are on a Geb, so just staying alive.
Definitely. The only difference off this, though, is that we are not seeing an early frenzy coming off of SEAL Team. Both supports opted for Shell, and both Shells already burnt by both of them. We might be seeing an early solo kill, and we will see it. Patroclez is going to clean up Toe Taker, and that's your first blood of the game.
Yeah, you just, you know, Mulan has early pressure, but man, Lancelot just has it all. He's got the damage, he's got the shielding, he's got it all. You really can't fight into a Lancelot.
Definitely, and especially when you bring it down to both solo laners started with the same build. You know, they started with that Bluestone into the T1 of Soul Eater, and really just was really just able to out sustain in a way, as Lancelot has just that much more, I believe, hits in his abilities to be able to proc a little bit more lifesteal at that. So I think that's going to really be more of Patro's favor versus Toe Taker's. But lurking in the shadows right now is Malware. Going to look to put some pressure on the Patro, looking for the knockup. Will find it. Looking for the arrow shot, but won't find that as re-engage will come. Patroclez is going to clean up Toe Taker, and now Malware is on the run. LokkedNLoaded joined up the fight a little bit late and was able to catch Toe Taker sleeping. So getting Patro another kill is really going to move him up to big strides into the solo lane.
Yeah, having played with Patroclez for quite a while now, I know that this is exactly where he wants to be. You know, he wants to be ahead invading blues. I mean, so does everybody, but that's just this man's play style. He bleeds pressure, so this is exactly where Patro wants to be, and that's a little scary for the Dropkick Kings. He can definitely be a win condition.
Definitely, and especially on the Lancelot, where he's gonna be he pretty much swings hard all game, and like even when he's a tank, he's still guaranteed to do a ton of damage, and that's terrifying right now. If you're looking at a 2-0 Lancelot right now, only 3 minutes into the game, tick to 5 already has that ultimate available, and it's really gonna start to be able to really ooze the pressure that you were talking about already onto this right hand side of the map.
Absolutely. He's already 3 levels up. That is so hard to come back from. And eventually, what that's going to turn into is if he decides to start invading back camps of MalwareCookie, he can start putting the enemy jungler behind too. So, you know, if this pressure keeps up, they can definitely run it through the solo lane into the enemy jungle and just become absolutely unstoppable, starving Malware out of farm and becoming absolutely ginormous.
Definitely, and the biggest thing on top of that too is he's already started sacking that soul leader. As these minions are falling, he's really just gonna get that much more ability lifesteal, and it's just gonna be completely annoying to deal with. He's just gonna become this unkillable monster as well. Early game coming in from LokkedNLoaded. The Windfire wheels are going to grab up Toe Taker. And a little bit of re-engage though coming up. Blink coming in from Malware, gonna force out the ultimate from Patro. So we'll get a little bit of leeway from Toe Taker. We'll be able to save his life as well as be able to take an ultimate away from Patro, which is going to stop his reign of terror at least for a little while. And we'll give Toe Taker a little bit of breathing room. But
It'll give, I was gonna say give Toe Taker a little bit of time to breathe, but as they, Patro just takes down Malware and Toe Taker, that's absolutely brutal. And both ults were expended from Malware and Toe Taker, so that fight went really poorly for them, unfortunately.
well, if there was ever a definition for Caster's Curse, I think that just might be it. As soon as I said they were both going to be fine, both they go down to Patro once again. All 4 kills on this map right now, for all 4 of them belonging to Patro on the Lancelot, is just completely going off right now in this solo lane. It's just going to become a monster late game for the Dropkick Kings.
Yeah, absolutely. Patro can just keep running it down, and it's so hard to come back once you're this far behind in solo lane because there's just so much farm to get so quickly that you can just keep leeching away all your opponent's farm and just strangle them out of the game. Solo is such a brutal lane to be behind in.
Definitely, and once you fall behind, you really start to feel, and it's just gonna erupt, as we just saw a little earlier, as NeptuneSpartan being able to invade Barry's purple buff, so we'll take that away from him, but it's gonna grab some castle camps, as lurking around is LokkedNLoaded, gonna be maybe looking to drain up a little bit of the of that trebuchet, but looking towards mid, we see Pest News just in between both his towers, as CACTUSARMS taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. Gonna be all going back to farming. Looks like they're doing that little dance in mid where Not much will come of it, just a little bit of damage exchange, but blue buff secured by Patro will get engaged on, going to be ulting towards Malware, and without even a chance to really do anything, Patro cleans him up and puts him in the dirt. That is number 5 for this Lancelot, and right now he's looking unstoppable.
Yeah, Pele, Malware on this Pele trying to ult, but just can't do anything. And like I said before, what I would have liked to have seen is Patro head into these back camps of the Dropkick Kings, that and really start wrenching that lead that he has. Just start really leveraging that advantage to get the most out of what he's got.
That's all. That's pretty much it. And you're really thinking right now, if you're Dropkick Kings, you're looking down the board. You're 8 minutes in. You see a 5-0 Lancelot, and you start thinking, how are we gonna deal with this? What do we do about this if he's just gonna start running around and two-shotting everyone?
Exactly.
But there goes. That's the first sign of life for the Dropkick Kings. They're gonna find SEAL Team sleeping on the Trebuchet, gonna bring that up with a crack and then Fields of Love combo. But a beautiful Scarab's Blessing is going to revive MalwareCookies. Gonna bring him back onto their side of the jungle and will allow him to back respectively and save his life. A beautiful play coming out of the Khepri.
Yeah, that's exactly why this Khepri is so strong. Just the ability to quite literally put on a cape and save someone's life, give somebody a second chance in Smite. That is such a valuable tool to have.
Definitely, and especially when your reses are so rare in the game, only believing I think there's only 2 in the game, but hold that thought. Windfire Wheel is going to be taking one up into the sky as Malware is aggressing on and brings down to Barry. Barry super low. Shell will be good. White trying to get him under tower, but won't be able to say the same for LokkedNLoaded. Sash is back in, but gets dropped immediately by NeptuneSpartan. SEALTeamTwo trying to build a little bit of space for Barry to get back and maybe clear the wave. On top of that, on the other side of Solo, as Patro chilling right now, level 11 on this Lancelot. No mana though, but on the other side of the coin is Toe Taker, low HP, but Pause coming in, and as that, we will jump right back into once the pause ends. So we will see you guys shortly. Joy, is it better this game? Am I not cutting out?
Kind of the same, but we'll make it work.
Am I cutting out for you, Noob? That is fair. That is fair.
Enough. Yeah, I was gonna say it hasn't been as bad this game, that's for sure. I don't know, maybe my Wi-Fi's being shit. And we are back.
Okay, back once again. Pause is good. Re-engage onto Patro from Toe Taker and gets really close to being able to get Patro to fall, but not quite enough. Patro looks like might look for a little bit of extra damage. Arrow shot not gonna quite land on the Patro, so A little bit scary. I'm not even sure if you want to pull him in that regard. You pull Patro. What do you do after that if you're sitting either basically no health or no mana, especially on top of that either? I think he just autos you down. But getting stuck right now is CACTUSARMS. Feels a lot being dropped. NeptuneSpartan does clean up knee. Giannis will sit out for a little bit, but right now here comes Kraken off of Pest News, does a whole lot of damage to LokkedNLoaded, finally gets cleaned up by MalwareCookies. He's going to drop, but re-engage. Patroclez comes in to join the party. Barry cleans up CACTUSARMS, and Patro in the back line going to force Barry to dash away, but decides to change his line of sight and claims up Pest, as Barry is still on the run. As 1 HP Cupid decides that he is too far away, so Patro will take his small victory and dip out as Gold Fury gets looked at by the tactical feeders.
Absolutely. Not the quickest burn yet, but Patro is here now, so should help. As is LokkedNLoaded. So this Gold Fury should falling to the tactical feeders.
Gold Fury drops, no big deal, no problem whatsoever. And with that, they decide to reset off that, maybe find a little bit of farm here and there, but not much else going to come off that. Looking pretty strong. Right now, 8-4 in favor of the tactical feeders. 6 of them coming from Patroclez with the help of Lancelot. This pick really just looking as strong as ever, and really easy to see why we've seen this god in both games this set so far. As Lancelot re-engaged coming on to Toe Taker, and no escape, as even at that full dash of his ultimate, the horse just drops him right where Toe Taker lands, and Patro sends him down once again. That's 7-0 now on this Lancelot. Pyro also being looked at by the tactical feeders. But the round is a Dropkick King. His Living Nightmare is going to be coming out from Barry, so Barry will join the fight as that over NeptuneSpartan. But here comes Sash once again, going to be pulled, but Kraken coming out of Pest News. That's a 3-man Kraken that takes up, and LokkedNLoaded gets put down. And with that, Scarab's Blessing is going to get the revive onto CACTUSARMS, being launched by himself. And in the back, MalwareCookies is alone with 3 of the tactical feeders around them, but we'll be able to get to walk away pretty much unscathed with that. And Toe Taker is around, sees that the fight's pretty much over, so opts to head back to the lane. As well, Patro will join him. Looks to get a little bit aggressive on him, but CACTUSARMS will join. The pull is going to be good. If they can really take out Patro, that would be great, but the Volcanic Lightning does come out of Malware. They are looking to completely take him down. Under tower, Whirlpool Nuts is good. We'll do a little bit, but Malware ultimately will clean up Patroclez. A big bounty coming out for this Pele, and it's going to be completely huge into getting Dropkick Kings back in this game, getting Patro finally down.
Exactly. That cut the gold lead to a mere 100 gold. That is basically nothing. That is 2 wards. That's really nothing. So, Patro turning around and going back in, part of your job when you're this far ahead is just to not let yourself be killed. And, he kind of dropped the ball there.
Definitely. Fields of Love coming out by NeptuneSpartan, but might have bit off a little bit more he could chew. Living Nightmare coming out once again by Barry, and Barry's going to find the ending kill on the NeptuneSpartan. And what we just saw right there is how powerful that Jimmy staff really was. NeptuneSpartan decided to try and take the 1v1 against Barry, but Barry had the staff, and that staff was putting in work.
Absolutely. That little staff was just pinging away. Passive damage. It's just so strong.
It's so strong, it does a lot of damage, and it's really hard to take a 1v1 if the other ADC has it. And here comes the aggressive Lancelot Patro just running down Pest News. Kraken doesn't do a single thing to this Lancelot and is just completely ruthless running down mid, running down into the T1 tower as well. Doesn't even care. And with that, Fire Giant at 15 minutes gets picked up by the tactical feeders. And it doesn't seem like anybody from the Dropkick Kings is around or even is the wiser, as already dropping down less than 50% HP. No one even really around yet, so this just seems like a free Fire Giant coming up from tactical feeders, and with that, Fire Giant falls.
Yeah, this is a super early Fire Giant. It's a great way to expand this lead, but I'm not sure they'll really be able to use it a whole lot, as if you would have seen a Fire Giant fall around the 20-minute mark. They don't have a huge gold advantage, as MalwareCookies takes a spill due to the 9-1 Patroclez. But as I was saying, about a 2k gold lead at 16 minutes isn't huge. So, I'm curious to see if they'll really be able to lever this Fire Giant to the most of its ability.
Definitely. I'm not entirely sure what the goal was of what Malware was trying to do there. Maybe he was trying to get blue, but it looked like it was already dropped, as there was two members backing of tactical feeders. But they were both pretty healthy at the end of the day. I'm not really sure what the what the thought process was with that gank, but either way, they were able to catch him early and drop him quick before that Pele was able to really do anything. So Malware has to sit in a timeout to think about what he's done.
Absolutely. And it looks like they really are going to start pushing down these towers, so taking advantage of that Fire Giant, despite not necessarily having that tower killer, items for their ADC and whatnot yet.
Definitely. And going right off, looking to aggress right onto CACTUSARMS with the Windfire wheels into the Kraken as well. But still, no good at all, as they are able to wait out the Scarab's Blessing, and Nee is going to finally be able to claim up CACTUSARMS as they look to keep pushing down this T2 on left. And Trebuchet will finally get the last laugh and will knock down that tower, as it looks like they are fully ready to retreat and go head back and claim up this Primal Fury.
While they're doing it...
Opts to re-engage though. Blink coming back in off of LokkedNLoaded. Finds one off the Sash, but isn't enough to claim any kills yet. But Patroclez has something else to say about that. We'll claim up Pest News. That is 10 right now on this Lancelot. And make it 11 as another one coming in, but LokkedNLoaded falls to MalwareCookies. Under this, Malware gonna claim up a second as well, as right into the back line it gets joined by Toe Taker, but Patro in the back, triple kill, finally drops Patro will finally fall, unfortunately, to CACTUSARMS. So even the Hug Bug getting one to his own, as yeah, a 2-for-1, and although everyone's still, well, 2 left on one side, 1 on the other, and everything left are just tanks, so not really going to be a whole much left. And Fire Giant, the only one on it, is SEAL Team on this Geb, so even playing field pretty much for the majority of what you're looking at here.
Absolutely, and that's the problem with trying to siege a Phoenix this earlier on. Even if you get a good team fight, those respawn timers are still relatively low, so it isn't that hard to get swept up in the action of trying to take the Phoenix and win the fight, and then all of a sudden enemy respawns are in, and then you're dealing with a fresh new set of players. So you really have to be careful when you're sieging a Phoenix this early to make sure that you're really able to take it before you step into that Phoenix line.
Definitely, and it's really tough because once they're all back full HP, they've bought their items too with the gold that they've been sitting on, so you never really know what kind of wall you're running back into. And that always poses that threat, but it's looking like Dropkick Kings looking at this Primal Fury right now, looking to drop it, as Barry is aware but won't have anything to say about it. Kraken will seal the deal on that, and Dropkick Kings will take this Primal Fury for themselves. But Patro spots out one, and it is going to hop right on the CACTUSARMS. CACTUSARMS is by himself. Whirlpool is good. Windfire Wheels will take him up into the sky, as Fields of Love also gets dropped once again. Will buy a little bit of time for CACTUSARMS to try and make his way out, but won't find him because he hits the ultimate wall off Patroclez, and will get dropped immediately after that. So finally gets the kill they were after, and are gonna march their way into that Fire Giant pit, looking at that Pyromancer.
And at this point, the game is almost dead even. You know, tactical feeders are looking for this Fire Giant, but any lead that they had established previously is now gone. This is probably going to be one of the most even team fights the Dropkick Kings will have all game. This could be a real opportunity here, especially as Barry dies.
Actually, when Barry goes down, and then Malware ults in, and he's going to clean up Locked and Loaded, and that's going to force out Knee, and then the Dropkick Kings are going to take the Fire Giant away from them. As right now, right into the back line, MalwareCookies gets finished off by SEALTeamTwo, but then ult coming in off of Patroclez, as well as Toe Taker as well, gets re-aggressed on but here comes the Kraken, is going to take up Patro into the sky. One more ought to do it, is going to go onto the chase. Toe Taker isn't able to hit the archery shot to be able to take him down. Blink coming in for Patro, so that's going to get him to walk away. But now SEAL Team is really the rock stark in the hard place, but barely finally is able to get under the T2. But with Fire Giant stripped away, it is looking brutal right now for the tactical feeders. What a tough break for them.
As I said, you know, just really tough situation. You know, they were ahead, but they really kind of tossed away any lead that they had. You know, and it really stemmed from when they took that early Phoenix siege. I'm not sure I really like that call. You know, there was plenty of other towers to get on the map. You can just, you know, get more gold through the towers instead of trying to take a Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit of a greed, I'd say, played into that call, and now they're really paying for it there. As you know, they all get dropped. Barry dies to the Fire Giant, and on top of Barry dying to the Fire Giant, I believe it was Locked and Loaded got super hit down by the fire too. So Malware, all he had to do was just blink ult in, and then claimed another one for the Pele. And after that, they were just, with them all pushed out, they were able to claim fire for themselves. And they really just flip-flopped this game now. The only one not having Fire Giant on them is Malware. But Malware sacrificed himself for a couple of kills. So honestly, it's worth it in that regard. But not too sure it was worth it in this regard, as he ults into 4 and gets dropped immediately.
Yeah, it is definitely week 1 of the SDL, as these teams gonna have some stuff to go back and look at during their VOD reviews and whatnot. You know, and as the season goes on, you know, obviously they will be better at shot calling. You know, they'll understand the roles that they play in their team better, and hopefully these mistakes that players are making will kind of start to, you know, be less and less as the season progresses forward.
Definitely so, but unfortunately, Malware gets picked off, so we'll have to sit for another 5 seconds. But luckily for him in that aspect, all these neutral objectives are on respawn timer, are all gone. And at the end of the day, he didn't have Fire Giant anyway, so no loss, no foul in that regard. So isn't too worried about that. Still sitting 4 strong onto the side of Dropkick Kings, but I want to see them get a little bit more active. I want to see them really try and do something with this Fire Giant, because we haven't seen a whole lot of what they're doing with it yet. But that might change. Fields of Love, Kraken is going to take out one. Locked and Loaded goes down. They're on the chase, looking for Patro, hungry for his blood. Pull is going to be coming back on the CACTUSARMS. Ultimate is going to be coming out off of Patro, and that's going to get him to safety. But right into the back line is this living nightmare ultimate from Barry, is going to try and go onto the prowl, looking to find Pest News, but instead to say it's opt out for NeptuneSpartan. But now getting honed out, and he's going to get completely circled by the Dropkick Kings. MalwareCookies knows where he's at, as well as Pest News, and he is on the chase, has 4 strong surrounding him. Pull's going to be good off of Toe Taker. Malware will confirm the kill on Barry.
One of the things that I've been really impressed with from the Dropkick Kings this entire game has been their ability to combo the Fields of Love and the Kraken. I can't tell you how many times they've been trying to lock people down, throw down the Fields of Love, and then boom, hit them with a Kraken. It's been really impressive that they've been able to combo those. And as I was kind of saying before with the Vulcan, they're 2 big circles and they're rather easy to hit. So, you know, comboing those together has been a really good show from the Dropkick Kings.
Definitely, and what we just saw there as well, another great play coming up from MalwareCookies, blinking over the wall and being able to catch this Giannis absolutely sleeping, dropping him down and taking the Gold Fury. But on the other side, Tactical Feeders are looking for the better objective as Fire Giant gets pulled, but getting a double knock-up right there, both on the SEAL team and on the LokkedNLoaded. It is coming down, so half health right now, a pretty good amount of shred coming up for Tactical Feeders, but I don't think it's quick enough, but it looks like they might just be able to nick it, and they do. As Tactical Feeders are able to secure off the Fire Giant. Unfortunately, doesn't go to knee on the Giannis, but good enough to really keep it into their favor as 4 strong right now with this Fire Giant on Tactical Feeders.
Yeah, I was really concerned there that the Dropkick Kings were going to come in and steal that without knee there to secure the Fire Giant. Tactical Feeders were kind of asking for it to be stolen, but you know, luckily their zone was good. They were able to secure, so that worked out for them. But I was really worried about Pest News walking up, dropping a Kraken, and then walking back to base with a Fire Giant around his belt.
Yeah, and that's definitely something you don't want to be walking into around this mid to late game, going into with this late game Poseidon just going and already having 1-shot potential, adding a Fire Giant buff to the mix of that is only going to add to the recipe for disaster. As walking down mid, Tactical Feeders are coming down. Still 4 with Fire Giant, minus the Giannis, but not too worried about that as they are doing the awkward little jig right now in mid. Not don't want to commit to anything just yet, but also don't want to back off completely. As the engage comes on from Toe Taker, is going to go right into the back line, and onto the other side, Patro follows suit going into the back line of Dropkick Kings, but Malware is going to drop off knee. Knee goes completely down into the back. Is Malware. Malware is going to find himself a double kill in the back. Malware finds himself a triple kill, and another one going down is going to be Neptune, going to pick off Patro, and that's 4 down right now for Tactical Feeders, and SEALTeamTwo is on the run, is going to be able to get out, but at what cost, as 4 are down for Tactical Feeders, and Dropkick Kings are rushing down mid right now.
I've been here as, you know, in SEAL Team's shoes as this Gavin. This is really not a Phoenix that you can defend. You hate to feel this as the support, just watching your Phoenix go down, seeing those low health bars and knowing there's absolutely nothing you can do because you do not have any damage, as Dropkick Kings are going for the end.
Dropkick Kings are going for the end, and they have a ton of damage on top of that. Knee does spawn, but Knee falls down quickly, as LokkedNLoaded will have the final say, but Titan goes down, and that's game.
I didn't think there would be any chance that they'd be able to end. I thought the respawns would come in much faster than that. Luckily for the Dropkick Kings, that did not happen, but what an end call. That was really gutsy.
Definitely. A fantastic engage on that last fight from Toe Taker. Really just set the tone for Malware to come in and just do an insane amount of burst damage, finding a triple kill in that last fight, and then Neptune being able to clean up the last. Really just allowed them to push it down and then run down the last push in mid to be able to take the game, and that's pretty much all there really is to it. They played that last fight as good as they possibly can, and unfortunately on the side of tactical feeders, they did check some of the important bars, which yeah, they got Patro super ahead, and he was doing a lot of great things, lots of damage, and was carrying for the first half of that game. But come team fight phase, he was ahead, but it felt like everyone else wasn't in a way, and it just kind of crumbled with the cracks in the foundation.
And that's what exactly you have to do sometimes when somebody is so far ahead. You know, you have to kick every other leg out from the table, and it is unable to stand. Uh, Good set from both teams. You know, both teams had their highs and lows, but you know, as I said earlier, you know, lots of things to go over in the VOD reviews for both teams. You know, so I'm excited to see what these teams bring into their week 2 matchups, and
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. I think there was a lot of good to see here. And yeah, I think that's all the time we have for you today. So, on behalf of the SDL, we thank you all for watching. My name is Zexagon.
and I'm Joywolffe. Have a good night.
What I do, I'm like a weapon that's sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back.